What is going on, guys? What is going on, guys? Today we're just going to be clearing some snow. There is so much snow out here. This is the first time we've gone live, and I figured it'd be a great time to do it. We just have a little tiny baby tractor, but I figured if you guys were sitting inside stuck in this snow, you could at least watch someone out here play around in it. So we're going to go ahead, hop on the tractor. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to answer many questions on this live, but you guys can watch along, and at the very end I'll come through and try to catch up on some of them. So as always, guys, I appreciate you for checking out the channel. Let's go out there and play in some snow. Not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see it from here. We're going to go ahead and get the tractor going over there. I'll bring you over as close as we can. And little thing. But as you guys can see, this is the most snow we've had in a very, very long time. Everything's covered. And then as you guys can see, we've got the big block Camaro project going on. Just chilling in here. Probably work on that this afternoon while we're stuck in here. But let's go ahead and out first and see how it goes. Gloves on. Yeah, this is the first time going live, so we're just gonna see how it goes. I can't see any chat stuff. I don't know if there is any chat stuff going on. If one of you guys want to put something in the chat real quick just so I can see if it's working. If one of you guys want to just put like here or something in the chat so I can see if it pops up, if it's working how it should. Like I said, this is the first time I've used a live, so we'll see how it does. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. All right, let's see if we have service over there and try to start clearing some snow. Like I said, guys, more snow than we've seen in quite a while. Like I said, we'll be working on that a little bit later this afternoon, working on getting the big block back together for that thing. But let's head on over there and see what we can do. We already cleared off a couple of the carports. As you can see, a couple of them collapsed. Luckily, the Hellcat over in this one right over here was still standing. So we were able to save that one. But the one that the Cadillac usually goes in, which is right over here, completely collapsed. That one completely let go. But I don't know how the service is over here, guys, but this is the little ass machine that we're going to be using. Let's see if we can keep clearing some snow with this little thing. Like I said, at the end, I'll go through and try to catch up if there's any chat. We're in Connecticut. So, I mean, we're used to cold-ish, but we're not used to this much snow. So let's see if that little machine can do it. I appreciate all you guys checking out our first live stream. So huge shout out to you guys. But I'm gonna hop on the machine for a little bit. I'll clear some snow, come check back in with you guys, and we'll just keep opening this place up. Hopefully we can open it up enough to start getting the trucks out and stuff. So I'm gonna hop on the machine. So as you guys can see, there's quite a bit of snow here, and that is a very little machine. I'm gonna try to turn you a little bit because I'm gonna try, my plan is to try to not make a huge pile right here, because as you guys can see, our driveway comes in there, and then we use all of this space for turning around the trucks and stuff like that. I'm trying to make my way there, but the tractor just won't go through it all. So I'm trying to make a pile over here. We usually pile it along the fence coming from the garage over there, but it just won't make it through. And what's happening is I keep making cuts and it's doing it, but I'm gonna end up just keep pushing that pile out into the driveway. So I'm trying to plow my way through over there so that I can at least start pushing it around our pile. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away at it and see what we can do. Thank you guys for the chats. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we're in Connecticut. Not Maryland, but I'm sure Maryland's getting hammered too. Probably, I'm honestly not sure, but let's go ahead and keep just chipping away at it. Yeah, you guys got 3 to 5. You said, yeah. I plowed this last night, and we had 6 inches out here, and then I woke up 4 or 5 hours later, and we had this. We measured it. It was about 18 inches, so 18 plus the 6, that puts us at 24. So almost just about 2 feet of snow. So it absolutely hammered us this time. And we're down like the shoreline of Connecticut. So, but I'm gonna keep plugging away at it, guys. Oh, almost lost you there. And again, I appreciate you guys joining us for our first live stream here. See if I can get you a little more level. Not quite Saybrook, but we're around there. Very close, actually pretty close to Saybrook. There we go. That's better. Yeah, it is starting to look a lot like Wyoming, sadly. But I was looking to see if there was a way for me to tighten up that plow, because I don't know if you guys can see it, but it keeps folding over, which is for like when you hit curbs and stuff. But it's just the frozen snow underneath. And I'm trying to get to actually scrape it because the tractor will do it. The plow just won't hold. So I was trying to do that, but it doesn't look like it's something I could do without like welding a plate and making it solid. So we're just gonna have to keep chipping away at it just like this. Once again, guys, I appreciate you for checking out our first ever live stream. Super appreciated. But I'm gonna hop back on the machine and just keep chipping away at it. Try to get this driveway cleared out, because the faster we get the driveway cleared out, the faster we can get back to work on the big block Camaro. So let's just keep on keeping on here and see what we can do. This little machine is definitely getting after it. It's trying like hell. It's just a lot of snow for it, and it's wet and heavy. I'm gonna bring you guys around to the side, see if you guys can get a shot over there. Yeah, I agree. 100% a snowblower would be better. We used to have snowblowers, then I sold them. I bought a bigger tractor that had hydraulic plow. Holy crap. I don't know if you guys can see this, but ugh. This is ridiculous. But anyways, I bought a bigger tractor that had a hydraulic plow and everything and a cab and heat. Nice John Deere tractor. I think I might have done a video on it years ago, a couple years ago anyways. And I ended up selling it because we didn't get snow for 5 years, and when we would get snow here, it'd be like 3-4 inches. So a little garden tractor was doing just fine. But sold it last year, and now we've had 2 storms, this being the worst of the 2, but one had like a little over a foot. So just how it goes sometimes, sadly. But let's keep on trucking along here. I can't even get over here. Yeah, I'm sure Mass got hit pretty good too, huh? So we're just chipping away at it. Let's see if you guys like this angle or from behind the tractor better. We'll try it, and then I'll see what you guys like better. Try to keep you from falling over here. All right, let's try it again. Guys, this is absolutely brutal. Take a break here for a second and read through the chat. We're up in Connecticut, so we're used to snow, just not this much snow. And definitely you're not the only one freezing, that's for sure. JR Weezy, you wish Georgia got snow like this? You really don't. I mean, it is pretty to look at. Like, it's fun to play around it and stuff, but it gets to a point where it's just a lot. And like I said, the biggest thing is it sucks. I sold a much bigger machine because we didn't get snow for 5 years, and now I'm stuck doing it with this little thing. I mean, it's doing better than I thought. I mean, it is clearing. It's just very slow going. It's also like 2 feet of snow, which we haven't had in years. Yeah, you've got 20 there. Yeah, we've got about 24 here, so 2 foot. Yeah, Dylan 19, I agree, man. I'd stay right in Florida too. Where I'm actually headed down there in another week, so. Yeah, snow's knee deep here as well. It's pretty rough. Yeah, really big blowtorch, that would work. It is kind of fun, but it's just beating the crap out of this thing. Yeah, yellow snow, man. Yeah, it is. It's brutal. I agree. If it wasn't for family and stuff like that, I wouldn't be up here either. We're actually looking south as we speak. But yeah, New London, I'm very close to New London. So I think we're technically New London County. So yeah, but we're just chipping away at it, guys. Like I said, it is absolutely brutal. I figured I'd take a break for a second, let this thing chill out. It is absolutely beating on it to do this. Yeah, I'll give you a closer look at the tractor. Just an old Craftsman. Someone thought the engine was actually locked up, and it ended up being a broken starter. It like tried to kick back when they started it. So we got this thing for basically free with a couple other tractors a couple of years ago. Got it home, thought it was locked up, put a new starter on it, and it's ran like a top ever since. I think it's like a 26 horse. And then it's got a little old John Deere plow that I made some mounts work for. Some ATV tires in the back and snowblower tires up front. And then I just made a little weight box for it just to get some weight on there, and thank God we did with all this snow. But I think it's just a Craftsman Accelerator GT with a 26 horse Kohler. Thing's running like a top, but it's definitely a lot for this little thing. When I hit the big snow piles like that, the whole hood twists up and stuff. It's just beating on it. Yeah, it's the same rims that were on it from the factory, but then I put these tires on it I had laying around, obviously a lot taller, but they're definitely better than the tractor tires were. But I had another set on a different tractor I sold a couple years ago that worked much better. But my biggest complaint with this particular tractor is instead of just spinning, like pushing until the tires spin, it'll actually cut power because of the transmission, the hydrostat. It's like a safety feature or something. If you put too much load on it, it'll literally just shut the power off. Engine stays running, but it's like a bypass valve in the transmission part itself. I had a couple different tractors. Like the manual ones are nice, and then the I had a John Deere L130, I think it was. Could be wrong, but it was a same size tractor as this. It just didn't have the 5-lug bolt pattern. It was like still a center with a keyway. And that one actually did phenomenal. That one would just go until it couldn't push anymore. We finally did break the rear end in it. So that's probably why they have a safety on this one, but it's definitely a limiting factor sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna let this thing idle here for a second and we will get back to trying to clear this thing. I'm worried about the end of the driveway up there. This tractor is definitely not gonna be able to move that. It's packed and it's well over waist high up there. So again, I sold the plow I had for my truck and I sold the bigger machine that I had. So we're gonna have to call up one of my buddies and they'll come by and hit the edge of the driveway. I just figured I'd do as much as I could with this thing. And it's not super cold here, luckily. I'd say we're probably in the 30s. So the last foot snowstorm that we had, it was like in the negatives and that was miserable. This, I have my heated sweatshirt on and I don't even have it turned on. So it's not that cold out, luckily. The wind is getting a little bit annoying. It's just a lot of snow. So let's go ahead, get you guys set back up here in a second. Like I said, I'm gonna let it idle for just a minute longer and let it cool off for a second, and then we will go at it again. Once again, guys, huge shout out to all of you. Thank you for joining our first ever live. I know it's a long one and I haven't really been able to interact all that much, but I figured I'd throw it up since we were gonna be stuck doing this. A little bit later today, we will be working on the big block swapped 3rd gen Camaro. So if that's something that interests you guys, make sure to check that out. We also just did a couple things with my truck that will be coming up. And then the Turbo Civic is back, hidden back there, out of the way for now. But we've got something coming up with that as well. So if that's something you guys are into, make sure to stick around. And then, of course, the ProCharge GTO, sadly sitting outside. But I didn't want it inside when we're cutting and welding and everything, working on the Camaro. So I figured a little bit of snow was better than grinding sparks in the paint. So sadly, it's sitting outside, but we did at least put its ugly winter wheels on the back and stuff so the drag radials aren't out here. But we'll just let the snow melt off of that so we don't scratch the crap out of it. But like I said, we'll let this thing cool off for another minute here, and then we will get back to pushing some snow. I'm jealous, man. I wish it was gonna be 92 here. This snow would melt awfully fast. Enjoy it for me. We're gonna be down Fort Myers area, Florida, next, not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. So we'll get out of here for a little while. Try to find something fun to do down there. But I'm gonna leave you guys here for 1 second. I gotta go grab something and then we will come back and get to plowing. If you guys could just hit that thumbs up for me. Like I said, this is our first live. I'm trying to get this thing going here. We're still a very small channel, but we're doing what we can. Couldn't do any of it without the channel sponsors. So if you guys need turbos or anything like that, make sure to check them out. We've got someone for fuel systems, turbos, LED lighting, and a couple other things. Clean Injection hopped on board. They're sending us another set of injectors for the Turbo Civic. So show them some love for supporting us. And once again, guys, I really appreciate all of you hopping on the live. But like I said, give me 1 second here and we will hop back on that thing and get to pushing. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a shovel real quick. I think we might try to knock down some of these edges just to make my life a little bit easier and make the tractor hopefully live a little bit longer. But I'm gonna grab that real quick. This snow has been getting absolutely out of control. I thought we were done for the year, honestly. So let me grab that real quick. Like I said, guys, just letting this machine cool off for a little bit. Doesn't look like we cleared all that much, but with how much snow's here and how small that machine is, we're really working the crap out of it. So as you guys can see, a couple of our carports did collapse. Luckily, the one with the Hellcat in it back there, we cleared that one off enough it stays standing. Then we've got our lathe and a buggy project and some other stuff in this one. But the one that the Cadillac usually lives in definitely is no longer with us. So we got the Cadillac over there. So just trying to make the best out of the snow and get it cleared out the best we can. Yeah, we're in the Northeast. 420 somewhere. I appreciate the sub, man. We're up in Connecticut. Like I said, guys, first ever live. I know it's a long one, but I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Jay Spencer, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Just having some fun here, clearing some snow. Yeah, we're getting absolutely smoked up here, man. This is the most snow we've had in a very long time. I honestly don't know if I can remember a storm where we had more. We have just about 2 foot here. We're used to snow and cold, but this is a lot for us. The streets are absolutely trashed. Yeah, the tractor's doing a lot better than I thought, man. Like I was telling you guys before, I had a much bigger machine with a heated cab and everything. We didn't get snow more than an inch for 5 years, so I sold it 2 years ago. And this year we've gotten this storm and one other one over a foot. But yeah, the roads are absolutely smoked. I went out last night, we had 6 inches. I did the driveway then once, and I'm glad I did. I fell asleep for 4.5, 5 hours and woke up to this. So it's been absolutely brutal. Yeah, we have a couple other tractors that we messed around with the governors and pulleys and stuff and played around with those for a little while. I don't have many of them anymore. This is the same one I used to cut the grass, so try not to mess with the governor too much on it. Try to keep it going, but it's definitely taking a beating today. All right, I'm going to knock down some of these edges real quick, see if it helps us out at all, and then we'll get back to beating on this thing. Yeah, it's a 26 horse Kohler. It's actually been a pretty decent little engine for us. Like I was saying before, I don't know if you heard it, but when we got this little tractor, I got it for like 50 bucks in a deal with another tractor. They thought the engine was locked up, but the starter, it must have like backfired and kicked and broke the starter, and it was wedged in there. So I was able to put like a $40 Amazon starter on it, and the thing fired right up and has ran ever since. There's a lot of snow, guys. All right. All right, I knocked some of the edges down. We'll give it a try again. This thing's been doing too much of a burnout, but let's go ahead and get after it. Oh. Ugh. Holy crap. Sorry guys. Stuff's way up past my knees. I don't know if I can zoom out on this thing, but I'm gonna keep hammering it right here. Look at how the roads are piled up. There's no way I'm getting through that berm right there. I'm gonna have my buddy come hit it. Wish I didn't sell the plow for my truck or the bigger machine I had, but it's not the greatest view, but see what we can do. All right, I'm gonna go hit it again, guys. Like I was saying before, if you guys wouldn't mind, just hit that thumbs up button. This is our first live. I really appreciate you guys joining us for it. So let's go ahead, put this little thing back to work. What do you guys like better? Do you like the view from the front like this, or do you want me to go behind the tractor? You'll be able to see more, but not as close, I guess. Yeah, this Kohler's been going strong, man. Real strong. Definitely Subaru country. I mean, not to make a low jab or anything, but if it still has head gaskets in it. All right, let's go ahead and hit it. Surprisingly enough, first time we've got this thing stuck today. See if we can't get this thing out. It's not so much that we have to go somewhere, it's more I'd rather have it cleared so that if we had to get out, we could. But like I said, I've got a buddy that can come plow it. Sadly, I sold my plow and the bigger machine with a heated cab I had because we didn't get snow for 5 years. But now we get hammered. So, is what it is. We're working this little Craftsman with the Kohler. So, see what it does. Now I got to try to dig it out. Holy crap. Yeah, you're not wrong. Definitely stuck. Definitely shovel time, sadly. Yeah, Jay Seffer. Yeah, we aired down as much as we possibly could. I just don't want it to come off the bead. They literally have like 1 PSI in them. Yep, he better wait for his friend, Boo Boo. 100% right. I'm texting him right now, actually, so hopefully the live stays up. All right, I just texted him. We'll see what he says. Jay Seffer, yeah, 100%. It's definitely fun to use underpowered equipment. When we had a couple weeks ago and it was light and fluffy, this thing actually did really well. But this stuff is like extremely wet. Let me grab some real quick. I'll show you guys. It like packs. That's a bad demonstration there, but it definitely does pack. Like, it gets packed up on the plow, it packs underneath it. It was packing on the driveway. It's just a miserable type of snow. If it was light and fluffy, I think we'd be all right. Yeah, the plow is definitely too small. If you guys didn't miss it, Gooey McDougal, I had a much bigger machine with a heated cab. I've also had plows for my truck, but where we are, we haven't really gotten snow for 5 years, so I sold everything. And then, of course, this is 2 years ago, so now we've gotten 2 big storms that obviously I wish I had them for, but we don't. So Boo Boo, I agree. I'd be glad not to be out here too. Yeah, the news up here tries to freak you out. Even when we have a couple inches, they're like, stay off the roads. But this time I would agree, it's definitely not ideal for travel. So we're doing what we can here though. This thing has been absolutely kicking our butt today. Thinking about just calling it quits and seeing if he might also be sleeping, because I think he was out plowing throughout the night, so might not get an answer from him right away. But let's take a walk out there real quick. See if we can get out to the road real quick and see how tall that snow wall is. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it is past my knee. Holy crap. Yeah, this is the most snow we've had in years. Oh, that's past my waist. That side doesn't look bad, but this side, no, camera won't do it justice, but that's on the tripod, the little one. So honestly, it's gonna be tough for even a truck to hit this. I wish we had a snowblower, but we don't. So is what it is. Again, I appreciate you guys joining us for our first ever live. I just decided when I was out here doing the snow, I was like, why not make a live today? I'm sure a lot of people in the Northeast are stuck inside, so. But this has gotten to a point where it's pretty slow going. But as you guys can see, we did get quite a bit cleared. This poor little thing. Definitely making progress. Lost a couple carports today, as I showed you guys already. But a lot of snow. Yeah, all-wheel drive and snow tires definitely help. I mean, now that the roads are kind of clearish, you could drive fine, but last night when I was out, they hadn't even touched it yet. And even 4-wheel drive, single wheel. My 4-wheel drive dually doesn't like it very much. When it's real deep snow like that, the outer dualies kind of catch and it just fishtails the whole time. It'll pull through anything, but it's definitely all over the place when you're driving in, especially like on a highway or something. But this thing's absolutely covered. Like I said earlier, those are 22s. Now, you have to account for the tire and stuff too, but it doesn't look as deep when you're looking at the truck because it's a little lifted and stuff, but it's a lot of snow. Yeah, if in the snow would be pretty cold. But we made some progress, guys. Yeah, boo-boo, the news, the Weather Channel saying blizzard all day today, basically. And it was worse early this morning and late last night. You could barely see 2 feet in front of you. So it's pretty brutal. Yeah, we're in the Northeast, Connecticut. But I was hoping that we'd be able to get this cleared a little bit quicker so we could get back to work on the big block swap Camaro that we got in there. Things in pieces and shambles right now. But hoping my buddy texts us back so that he can hit it and we can call it quits. That'd be really nice. I'm gonna see if he did. I'm debating on if I want to try to hit this area because I'm gonna have to do something here. I'm gonna set you guys back up. And I'm gonna grab a shovel and try to make a little bit of a path because the problem is I have nowhere to push it coming in this way with the tractor. So maybe I'll shovel a little bit, try to back the tractor in there and then chip it out. I need a bottle of water though. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back, guys. All right, sadly, let's go ahead and grab a shovel. Try to clear a little bit here to get the tractor in there. This branch almost fell on my truck. I'm gonna move that too. go ahead and shut that thing off for a second. Try to make ourselves a path in there. I was gonna try to backblade some out, but it just packs down. This snow is brutal. Yeah, the little tractor won't drive through the 2 foot of snow. When we had a little over a foot of the fluffy snow, it was fine. But with this stuff, it just packs down and then it gets stuck. So I was trying to knock some off, and there's nowhere to push it up by the garage. So I was trying to clear a spot up there so I could potentially back in, drop the plow, and push out. But not sure how well it's gonna work. We're gonna give it a shot though and see what happens. Might get stuck, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, right about now, I'd be glad to live in Florida too. Let's see if I can get my glove back on now that I'm sweating. All right, let's see what happens. I don't know if you guys could see me over there with a hammer, but the steering is actually hitting the plow frame because we've been hitting this snow so hard that it's actually like pushed. It's like a slotted bolt and it slid back, and now it's kind of hitting the tie rod. But I'm not going to take the time to get a die grinder and cut a piece or loosen everything up and lift it. So it's giving me issues turning left. So I'm going to just fight it for a little while. If it gets too bad, I'll have to take it apart. And this is in Connecticut. All right, guys, so as you've seen, we did get that cleared out enough for now anyways, but I am having some issues with this thing. We have been beating the absolute crap out of it trying to push this snow, and I think we tweaked that little plow frame a little bit. It's on like slider type bolts, and it's hitting the steering now when I try to turn to the left. So sadly, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and call it quits there. I might clean up a little bit more, but my buddy's gonna come over and hit it with the truck anyways, so not gonna bother trying to beat on this thing anymore. So like I said before, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in for our very first live. Really appreciate it. So I'm gonna scroll through some of your guys' comments here real quick. This is in the Northeast. We're in Connecticut here. Yeah, yellow is a great color on snow. That's funny. Yeah, definitely shovel time. It's just too much with this little tractor. Like I said before, it really sucks because I sold a nice bigger machine that had heated cab, hydraulic plow, all that stuff. We didn't get snow for 5 years, so I sold it, and now I'm really kicking myself for that. But is what it is. Sold the plow for the trucks that we had, so that kind of sucks, but is what it is, guys. We're making the best out of it here. I just figured it was a snowy day, might as well do our first live. I know a lot of you guys are probably just chilling at home trying to stay warm, or you're in a nice warm place and we're all jealous of you up here, so there's that. But we'll be down in Florida here in a little over a week, so be able to enjoy some of the warmth. But as you guys can see, there is a lot of snow here. Yeah, Texas is probably very nice and warm right now. But let me just see if he's on his way with the truck, because if so, I'll wait a minute to hop off, but I don't think so. He's probably either sleeping or out plowing. So I think we're gonna have to end it off here, guys. Like I said, once again, I appreciate all of you for tuning in for our very first live. If you guys haven't hit that thumbs up button, please go ahead and do that. Figured, like I said, if you guys were stuck inside like us today, it was a beautiful day to go ahead and do our first live. Now, once we get this driveway cleared out, we will be back to work on the big block swapped 3rd gen Camaro. Just got some of the floor stuff welded in. We're still putting the engine back together with our big valved head. We've got a cam for this thing. The crank is back from the machine shop. So we've got a lot of parts coming in for this thing. We just need to do some more fab stuff, and we will be ready to drop that big block back down in here. So like I said, guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out the channel. Don't forget to check out our sponsors down in the description of this live. We've got discount codes on there for everything from turbos to fuel systems to fuel injectors, LED lights, anything you could need. And they have been extremely helpful to the channel and keeping us going. So if you guys need something, make sure to go and check them out. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel, and we will catch you on the next one.